G'day guys, Matt here from Not in the Manual. Just here at Macquarie Shopping Centre at the superchargers, and I'm on 39%. I've got a trip up to the Hunter Valley today, which about 2 hours north of Sydney. The weather conditions are pretty poor, so I thought it'd be a good test. I'm still doing my supercharging only tests now, just to see what effect that has on the cell imbalance with the battery. All up, it'll be about 2 weeks worth of supercharging only. I'm just interested to see if it does affect cell imbalance. The LFP battery is supposed to be a lot better with that. So I've preconditioned not. We have cell temp mid 36.3. Actually, it got a bit warmer than I thought. I had to turn around. I forgot some stuff. I'm doing a work trip up to the Hunter, so I actually forgot my work boots. Had to turn around and get them, so that gave it a bit more time to precondition. I decided to just do a quick top-up charge. I've probably got enough to get to 39%. It takes about 20% to get to the Central Coast supercharger, but I thought I'd better just top up just in case. It's pretty poor weather. I haven't driven the car along the freeway in weather this bad. So yeah, roads are going to be pretty wet, and we're going to have some torrential rain, and we'll see how the Navigate on Autopilot goes as well. I'm also just going to try the new tunnel which links the M2 motorway with the M1 motorway north. And yeah, let's get to supercharging. I think I'm only going to need about 10 minutes just to top up. Get my magnifying glass out again to read this. Okay, kicked in. So this is going to take 30 minutes only to charge me back up to 90%, but it would be quicker than that. Once it gets going, that changes. It's going 50 kilowatts, 60. I'm only expecting about 100 kilowatts here. If I get any more than 100 kilowatts, I'd be pretty happy. There we go. 110, 20. 113 out of with a 120 kilowatt supercharger. Not too bad. Battery is at 37.8, and we are at 40%, so that's pretty good. Telling me here max charge. I've never found this to be too accurate. You saw then 114, it says max 91, so I don't know how accurate that is. Nothing else interesting there. Okay guys, I'm going to charge for about 10 minutes, get the camera gear set up, and we'll hit the road. Okay guys, we're at 68%. We actually got there a bit quicker than I thought. I need to plan the trip today, so we can do it. I'm going to do 2 ways today. I'm going to use the car's system, the Tesla system, and navigate to where I need to go, and it will tell me where to charge and what state of charge I'll have when I get there. Today will be a good test because the weather is very poor. We're going to have lots of wind, lots of rain, wet roads, and it's going to be worst case. So got a bit of glare there, put it down on my leg. So this is called a Better Route Planner, this app I have. Now this is a pretty good app. It connects to my car, it shows the state of charge, takes that into account, and it adjusts as we go to the consumption of the car. Very similar to the car system. I'm going to run them side by side and see which one gives the better predictions today. Navigate, Singleton. Edit trip, add stop. I'm actually going to go to Cardiff to near Newcastle on the way back. Okay, now it's all in the wrong order, so we need to go edit trip. That will be the final destination. Cardiff will be the second destination. There we go. Done. Now it will definitely navigate me to the central car. It's taking me to Heatherbrae. So it's saying I can get to yeah, I don't want to get to Singleton with 21%. Yeah. It's not doing a very good job. Okay, we're going to add stop. We're going to add in Central Coast Supercharger. Then we're going to edit. We're going to go to the Central Coast Supercharger first. Then we are going to add another stop. We're going to do the Heatherbrae Supercharger in between, and then we'll go to Cardiff and then back home to St Ives on the way. Let's see what it calculates. For some reason. Anyway, we'll fix that up later. I'm sure it will adjust itself. I just needed to reshoot that part of the video. I noticed in editing that the phone screen was overexposed and I couldn't correct it with adjustments in the editing software. So I just thought I'd reshoot this quickly. You can see in a better route planner I've planned the trip for the day. We go from, you can see here, out of Sydney. We're going to stop at the Central Coast Supercharger, visit the customer up in Singleton, swing back around for the Heatherbrae Supercharger, then come down here for Newcastle for my last customer visit, and then just straight all the way back home. So what this app does different to the car is it allows you to set your states of charge. So you can plan your trip before the day. So what I did with the supercharger in Macquarie, I set a 90% state of charge, departure state of charge, and it's got a lot of other information in here that you can customize as well. And then I said that, you know, I wanted to go to the Central Coast Supercharger, so it works out what I need to charge to then to get to my next destination. And this is where I customized it as well. So I wanted to arrive at Singleton with 50% state of charge because I wanted to add an extra safety margin because the weather was bad, and plus I knew I was going to be doing a bit of driving around once I'd arrived there. So I just wanted to allow an extra, and I know around Singleton there's not many charging options for me. So I wanted to add that extra safety margin for my next stop. So I could have put 50% here, or I could have changed my arrival state of charge for the Heatherbrae Supercharger here. And you can see there, we have, I could have set an arrival state of charge, but I didn't bother. But it's saying I was going to arrive there with 31%. If I wasn't happy with that, then I could up the arrival state of charge for Singleton, or I could change an arrival state of charge for the supercharger. So you can't do this with the car's navigation system. So the car's navigation system is great, but it doesn't allow you to customize to this level. So this is quite good, and it allows you to simulate the trips, which you can't do in the car's navigation. Well, you can to a certain degree, but you can't customize it as much as this. So you can put in non-Tesla charges into this as well, which you can't do with the car. And this will calculate those too. So this gives you that extra level of customization. It connects to my car. I've set the app up to connect to my car. So it's getting live data from the car as well to then you know, recalculate if needed, efficiency levels and things on the day. So I run this in tandem with the Tesla system if I'm doing a regional trip where I'm going to be supercharging. And this is much more accurate than the car, what I've found anyway. So right at the end of the day, I wanted to arrive back home, back into St Ives with 40% and 40% state of charge, just so I didn't have to worry about charging that night, and I had enough to sort of get to work and muck around. You know, I didn't want to have to worry too much about that. So that then decided how long I would charge at that Heatherbrae Supercharger before that last run home. So this is a really, really handy app if you've got a much longer trip to do. This, I had a particular plan, so I actually had to put in which superchargers I wanted to go to, but you can just let the app do it automatically. So guys, just wanted to do a quick video there on that. and you can see here it was saying Central Coast Supercharger 64%, but on the day of the video it was saying 57%. So what I was trying to do is compare the car to this app. This app was much more accurate. When I got to this supercharger, it was 57%, but you'll see that in the video anyway. So we'll move on to the drive. Okay guys, we're just going to try out Navigate on Autopilot. So we're on the entry ramp here to this freeway. Let's see what it does. Speed zone set to 100. Poor weather detected. Navigate on Autopilot unavailable. Okay, it's still doing auto lane changes. Just to show you guys that the weather is pretty terrible. So we're going to go along the M2 motorway and into the new tunnel. I'm expecting this weather to be pretty poor all day. So not expecting to be able to use Navigate on Autopilot today. Okay guys, Navigate on Autopilot came on once the weather cleared up. So we've got an exit coming up here. I'm going to show you how it negotiates this exit. So we're behind a slow car, but you can see here speed still set at 100 max. We're in the exit lane. It got me across into the exit lane before. So we've got a bit of a tricky navigation here. Now you've got to be careful what you expect the car to do. So it's not going to fully navigate this this motorway change here. It's putting me automatically, I didn't have to confirm that. It's put me into this lane at the exit. It's not going to stop at red lights. I don't have red light and stop sign control, but I am stopped behind this car. So it's leaving Navigate on Autopilot on through to this point. Honestly don't trust it to be able to make this. Let's see. So we're exiting off the M2 motorway. We need to get into the new North Connex tunnel, and that's going to take us north, connect us to the M1 motorway. Let's see how it goes. Taking off very slowly. Yep, just as I thought, it's killed Navigate on Autopilot, so we'll coming up with lots of different errors. So we're going to need to get into this tunnel on our own. I think once we get into the tunnel, it wouldn't be able to use Navigate on Autopilot anyway. But just thought that was a good test to see how it would go. It's actually my first time in the North Connex tunnel. All right, let's activate Navigate. Let's activate Autopilot. Wow, look at these blue lights. I think that's their attempt to make it feel like you're not in some dark underground tunnel. Now, I did this trip a couple of weeks ago up to Port Stephens, a few hours north of Sydney. Navigate on Autopilot worked flawlessly. The auto lane change, the speed-based lane changes were all fantastic. I thought it did a pretty good job. It wasn't chopping and changing lanes all the time, but that was ideal weather conditions. Today is going to be very, very poor weather conditions. We've got a big east coast low sitting off the coast, and it's creating some pretty horrible weather. And yeah, we're going to see how it goes. I'm expecting Navigate on Autopilot to not be active most of the time, but it should still give me the auto lane changes. You can see here Autopilot works really, really well. It's such a solid system. Really poor weather, and it's working really well. This is a motorway situation though, where the lines are very clear. So we can do an auto lane change here. The car accelerates automatically. It was a little bit wobbly with that lane change. Gonna have to be super careful today and hold my hand on the wheel really tightly at all times. Not that I don't do that, but yeah. Okay guys, Navigate on Autopilot's been going on and off. We've got a wet weather sign up here, 90 kilometers an hour when raining. You can see there, it gives you a warning to say that it's 90 because it's raining. That's pretty cool that comes up. You can see there it's now just going in and out. It has this poor weather detected. I've had a few people ask me whether the car will automatically slow down for these other speed zones, and no, it won't. You can see there it didn't. I used the gear stalk, holding the gear stalk down to set the speed to 90, and you can see it's even got a little raindrop there. So I think that's pretty good. I don't think it's read the sign. I think it didn't come up with that limit the other day when I came through here on a day. So that's pretty smart. It's like the school zones. So it knows if the school zones are active or not. For some reason it knows that. Maybe it comes up in the traffic information. I'm not sure. Maybe it read the sign, but I don't think it's that smart yet. Okay, great. We can see now preconditioning for fast charging is cut in. We're not too far from the Central Coast supercharger now. We're 28 minutes, so battery preconditioning kicks in about half an hour before you get to a fast charger. Now I think that is dependent on where your battery temperature is. Mine, I think it comes in if it needs to top it up. It tries to heat the battery up to about 40 degrees, or to get it over 40 degrees. My battery inlet at the moment is 38.9, and the cell temp mid is 38.3. So the battery is quite warm anyway. So I'm expecting this to be a pretty quick charge stop. I'm going to top up to 90%, just to be sure that I've got enough, because where I've got to go to, there's no supercharger up in that direction. Well, there is, but I've got to go a long way past my customer visit. So I'd rather get up to where my customer is, and then you have enough charge to get back to the Heatherbrae supercharger. And the Heatherbrae one's quite close to the road. Okay guys, got a pretty scenic spot coming up. This is the Mooney Bridge, pretty funny name. I had a mate that used to base jump off this bridge when I was younger. You can see here, look at all that national park. Both sides, green forest as far as you can see. We've got the windsock there. Navigate on Autopilot just came back on. Yeah, that was a pretty scenic spot. I've always loved that. You can go down that massive hill and regen a lot of power, but then coming up the other side here, you're burning through a fair bit too. So, but pretty cool. Coming down that decline there. Whoops, I'd actually set it to 115. Yeah, coming down that decline there, you can put on a couple of percent on the battery, but then coming up the other side, you can watch the percentage just come down. So we're on 67.4 on Scan My Tesla. Still preconditioning. Battery inlet is at 46.6 degrees, so it's really doing a good job there. The rear motor, still got that issue where it's showing 97 degrees constantly, no matter what temp the motor's at. Every now and again it flicks to a temperature there, and it's at 57 degrees, the motor. It's then circulating that heated up coolant from that motor through to the battery. Wow, we've got some water over the road here. Yeah, okay. I won't be going through that. Need to reverse up. Not a chance. So superchargers are just here. You get to the top of that ramp, loop around to the right. So we have 6, yeah, that one's iced on the end there. Park here where there is no water. You can see my back camera is pretty dirty. I'll give that a clean while we're stopped here. Okay, now the car's telling me I'm at 60%. The car's telling me I'm going to need to charge for 5 minutes to continue the trip. But this car is the trip's been a bit messed up. You can see here, Better Route Planner is telling me to charge for 14 minutes up to 86%. Let's see, we'll see how much charge we get in five minutes anyway. We'll go from there. I'll go plug in. Okay, plugged in. Let's see what speed we get. So we're 42 degrees, battery, rear stator temp 57, the rear motor's kicked in, so we're still heating up the battery. So if we look across here, we're only getting 85 kilowatts, but we are at 63%. So we probably are going to be here for 10, 15 minutes. Not too bad, that's okay. I normally stop in for a bit of a break on the way north here anyway, but you can see, I might just jump out of the car, have a look, so you can see we're here behind Bunnings. Fix up my microphone. Yeah, up here on the car park here, and you can see the superchargers. You can see no wait time, turned up, charged straight away, pretty easy. So it's in the car park to Tuggerah Super Centre. So if you're not sure where it is, so we've got Spotlight, Bunnings. You really don't have enough time to go and shop. That's the trouble with supercharging, it's too fast sometimes. But you can always come back and move your car again once it's charged if you wanted to do a bit more shopping. But you know, this is in a pretty bad location here. It's a little bit off the M1. I think eventually they're going to have to put superchargers at, we call them the twin service stations. So northbound and southbound, there's a petrol station. Ideal, there's massive land there. Big truck stop. They can put loads of fast chargers there, and I'd say it's probably going to be a good spot for even non-Tesla fast charging. Okay guys, we're at 92%. We're going to head off to Singleton now. We're going to arrive there with 54%. And then, yeah, I don't know. This system's a little bit, I'm going to charge more at Heatherbrae. I'm going to charge up to 80% or 90% there. But it's saying I can get to Singleton and get back to the Heatherbrae supercharger with 30%. I'm good with that. A little bit lower than that's probably better because I'll charge faster. And then, you know, I don't know, this will all adapt as we go. You can't, the thing I don't like about this is you're not able to set what level of charge you want when you get to a destination. That way it would adjust these charging times accordingly. I'm not just trying to get there as quick as possible, but that's the one thing you got to remember. Turning up at a charger with a higher state of charge puts you on a different charging curve than if you got there with a lower state of charge. Ideally, if you turn up with 20%, 15 to 20% charge, with a really warm battery, you're going to get the highest speeds from that supercharger that you can get, and it'll stay as a pretty flat charge curve with the LFP battery. All right guys, we're going to get going to the next destination, and we'll report back when I get there.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game.
All right guys, just thought I'd show you this. I just hit some pretty bad weather, and I'm expecting it to be like this for a while. Autopilot, Navigate on Autopilot switched off a while back. I was running there for a while and doing some pretty good suggested lane changes, speed based, but you can see here, vision wise, things are pretty bad, but Autopilot's handling it quite well. We just had a car merge in front of everyone there at a very slow speed, and managed that quite well. This is where I don't know, this car has the radar. I just don't know how vision only Autopilot would go in these conditions, because I think the car through its cameras can see the lines looking backwards as well. Back in those side repeater cameras, I think it can see a lot with the car's alignment. But looking forward, I just don't know. I don't know how the two cameras and doing the offset with the two cameras to work out distance, the parallax system, I don't know how that would work in really poor vision conditions, and that's how it's working out your distance in front. It looks at the two offset lenses and the difference. If you close one eye and open the other, you'll see a different image. So what the software does is it looks at the difference between the two images, and it can tell how far away something is. Auto lane changes work fine in this weather too. You know, it's using the ultrasonics around the car as well as vision, and the ultrasonics I think have 10-20 meter visibility. You know, so it's still pretty safe. I'd imagine if that was obstructed or whatever, it wouldn't let you use auto lane change. Yeah, just a bit of an update. The consumption's still at 149 watt hours per kilometre. I'm an hour away from my first customer visit. Weather's looking pretty bad. This car's performing pretty well. I mean, you look at how bad this weather is. The road, it's poor road surface. We'll just do some overtaking here. You can see auto lane change, no problem. Once it's changed lanes, it accelerates up to overtake. You know, this standard Autopilot with the auto lane change is actually quite a good combination. I mean, the Navigate on Autopilot adds another element on top, but I don't think it's entirely necessary. My favourite thing is the auto lane change. You can see there I do a quick check of my mirrors, hit the auto lane change, and then the car does the rest. And it changes lanes better than I do, really. I can keep an eye on the mirrors and things while the car worries about the lane change. So I think it adds that extra layer of safety there, and I've been really impressed with it. And that alone is probably worth half the expense of the enhanced Autopilot package. Not too far now, 37 minutes to the destination. I'll let you know if anything else interesting happens along the way. But just being super careful. There's a lot of water on the road. You can really feel the car slow down as you hit those, you know, sections of water. So I want to be really careful about the car aquaplaning on the water. I mean, this is a big, heavy EV, but it can still aquaplane if there's enough water on the road. So we just got to be super careful. You know, 110 k's an hour, you don't want to be spinning out. Seen a lot of bad drivers. I don't understand why people don't put their headlights on in this weather. You can see this car here, no headlights. Yeah, in these conditions, guys, headlights always on. We can look out this window here and pretty miserable. You can see how wet it is around here. We're coming into Singleton, so this is a bit it's a bit of a low-lying area here. You can see, looking out the window there, there's some water, some pretty dark clouds. So we're on 57% charge, and I've just got to go and see this customer for maybe an hour, and then yeah, we'll move on. Next step from that is going to Heatherbrae charger, and it says I'll have 32% when I get there. And I'm just going to charge up to 90% there, and possibly not even charge up again between there and home. I'll see what it's predicting at the time, and we'll go from there. All right, so finished with my customer now, and just grabbing a bite to eat. Got a little mini fillet of fish burger. It's shrinkflation hitting us hard, with some chips and a drink. Not the healthiest of meals, but I don't have it very often. I know, the Heatherbrae supercharger. It's really annoying how it doesn't find it. Tesla supercharger, Heatherbrae. Okay, we want to go there first, then Cardiff, then the Central Coast supercharger, but I'm going to do it differently. I want it to preheat. It's already started preconditioning for fast charging to Heatherbrae. As long as it's something that's within half an hour. Oh, here we go, 49 minutes. It's preconditioning now. It's a bit early, but anyway, we'll let the car do what it does. I think we're going to get there with a nice warm battery, so we're not going to be there long, but I might just charge to 90% there. And then I think I could make it all the way home from that point. So that's done. Alright guys, we're almost at the Heatherbrae supercharger. Ended up having to do a roundabout thing to get to it. This river you can see in behind is all flooded, so the route coming through here is all underwater. Can't really see out there at the moment, but have a quick look. See out there, it's all underwater. So it pays to just have a bit more charge in your car for circumstances like this, where you may need to, especially in bad weather, where you may need to route around. Roads could be closed. So I think unless you're really experienced and the chargers are near a main road that you know you're not going to have any problems with, play it safe. So at the moment, 30%. I've got enough charge to get to another supercharger, or there are some non-Tesla fast chargers. So I know I've got other options. So far, the trip, 164 watt hours per kilometre. That's still pretty efficient considering the weather I've been going through and how windy it is. Battery's at 37.5 degrees. And the preconditioning has stopped. So you can see 5 out of 6 are available. And with my battery at 37.3 degrees, I don't think we're going to be here too long. I want to charge up to 90%, just so I want to try and make it all the way home from here. I should be able to do that, and we'll just see. When I go down back past the Central Coast supercharger, I'll see what state of charge I'm at and see what it's predicting at that point, because I'm getting some pretty wild weather. So we'll just pick the one on the end here. A pretty poor job. You've got to remember with these superchargers that you need to go right back until your wheels touch the stop. So it's telling me I only need to charge 10 minutes, but we're going to charge it up to 90%. So I might just leave the camera here. I'll go put it on charge and we'll see what speed we get. Okay, starting the charge. 30%, it's telling me I only need to charge for 5 minutes. All right, let's see what we get. We're at 37 degrees. I'm hoping to get about 100 kilowatts. Well, we've gone over 100 now. We're 114, 15, 16, 120, 126. Pretty quick. Now we will set this at 90%, 89. Doesn't really snap very well. There we go, 90% limit. 114 kilowatts. So yeah, this is pretty quick. So I think probably 20 minutes here will be all we need to get up to 90, and then we'll be right to keep going. Just maybe go over a few things again. Here we go. So this trip today, 295 kilometers. We've used 48 kilowatt hours, 164 watt hours per kilometer. So yeah, guys, we'll come back when the charge is finished. Okay, so we're at 74%. Roughly about 10 minutes to go. Just thought I'd show you a bit around here. We've got some bins here to throw all your rubbish. Keep the superchargers all nice and clean. You can see it's getting a little bit busy now. It's right near a petrol station here. Right near the main road. This is how superchargers should be. Quick and easy to get to from the main roads. You can see there's a new service station, petrol station there, gas station, whatever you want to call it. Looks like a new restaurant or something is going to open up, possibly with drive-through or something. Pretty good. You can go in there and use the bathrooms. All nice and convenient. It's quite a good little spot here, right on the main road going through, heading north. Yeah, we're almost there. Let's see, 76%. And we'll just let it navigate that. So that's good. It's saying 75% when I get to Cardiff, and then when I get home, here we go, we'll be on 36%. That's good. That's enough to go and do a couple of things after I get home. I'm not too stressed about charging. So we're almost there, 87%. I better get my gear together and get ready to head on home.
'Cause that's what it takes.
Okay, last customer visit for the day done. We are heading home. So I've put that into the nav. What are we looking at? Hour and 42. I'm on 82%. When I get home, I'll be on 45%. Nice. Good safety margin for bad weather. Ready to go. Weather's looking pretty rubbish. Anyway, see how it goes. Just be careful like we did on the way up. Okay guys, so as you can see, the weather hasn't improved. It's actually gotten worse. So the car predicted 45% that I would arrive home with. Let's take a look at the energy app. You can see now where it predicted and where it's actually going to be, 36%. That just shows why you can't cut it close and just rely totally on what the car predicts. You need to allow some headroom there, a lot of headroom, just in case. Right guys, we might just wrap up the video here. I'm almost home and I need to head straight back out once I get home. So yeah, summary for today. Let's look, trips. 454 kilometers. And probably another 4 or 5 kilometers from home. 73 kilowatt hours, 161 watt hours per kilometer. I just can't believe the weather I drove through today, that the car was still that efficient. I know I keep saying it, but pretty surprised. I thought it was going to be up over 200 watt hours per kilometre. Some of that water I was driving through, you could just feel the car working, you know, slowing the car down. Pretty horrible. So yeah, and our rough temperature today, whenever I was looking, was about 16 degrees, 15, 16. It's down to 14 degrees now, almost 4:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, the car performed well. You know, I came all the way from that Heatherbrae supercharger to home. 90%. Stopped in at Cardiff to visit that customer at Newcastle, and yeah, I'm on 39%. I think, you know, might be another couple of percent drop by the time I get home. So you saw I've got the standard range. I did that pretty easily, and I didn't really take any risks. So I made sure that I got to the superchargers with plenty of charge left. Yeah, pretty easy. You can do the trip how you want. You can sit at the superchargers until you charge to 100%. If you got the time, sit there, charge to 100%. I charged to 90% each time, just to give myself a bit of headroom with the bad weather. But if I didn't have the poor weather, I probably wouldn't have charged as long as I did. So I probably would have gotten away with you know, 2 10-minute charging stops. I mean, big deal. You really probably should rest anyway. That wouldn't have been an issue. So I ended up with probably 2, I can't remember, I'll look it up and put the figures up on the video, but I did two charging stops. I think they were 15 minutes one and 20 minutes the other. Not really a huge deal. I was able to make some phone calls and get some things done, being a work day. And yeah, it was all, you know, pretty stress-free. But you know, I am going to arrive home with a bit less charge than what it predicted, but it's still pretty close. It's not like it was, you know, 15-20% out. So the weather did improve, so I got a little bit more efficient for that last little journey. But I knew I was going to get home safely. There was no range anxiety, not a problem at all. And the horrible weather that I had, yeah, I was really impressed with Autopilot. I used Autopilot probably for 99% of my driving today, and I had 2 phantom braking events. One was next to a truck, and I was just getting covered in spray. I couldn't even see the road, and so I would have hesitated. I would have phantom braked at that point. So another point, it thought a car was going to come into my lane, and it braked. No problem. All reasons, they're all points when I would have wanted the car to brake. So look, guys, super happy with it. I wasn't too fussed about the navigate on Autopilot side of things not working with the poor weather. The standard Autopilot is great. All went well. So guys, yeah, hope you found that video useful, and I'll catch up with you next video. Thanks for watching.